And we are live. Alrighty. So, welcome back to That Critical Idiot. I am your host, Gavin, and of course, you are probably wondering, I've been away for a bit, and I apologize for that. It's been a little bit busy, and I know I was going to have a new schedule, but I've decided to do kind of a little bit of a newer schedule, so we'll get to that in a little bit. I just wanted to kind of recap on Augustus. Augustus is still under production, which is a good thing. I'm still working on the war, like the lore, the worlds, how things end up working in there, and so I'm just gonna quickly pull up here. Augustus's kind of world essentially, I did create a little bit more of the races and how they kind of ally in the world of Augustus. So there's going to be the United American Underworld, which is going to be the essential main force of evil in this campaign. So this is a very interesting style. So you've got American humans, demons of the underworld, goblins of the Laka continent, elves of the Laka continent. So that's the continent that they'll start on. Which, when I do make this into a PDF, you'll know where it is. But one of the island, there's two big islands and there's a smaller island. That's where the main portion of the goblins reside in the middle island. Everybody else resides on the other two. The other two, there's going to be on one side. There's going to be the American humans that have survived, and the other side is going to be the Russian humans that survived. Those being kind of a big main force. There will be other humans, of course, but the main bulk of the group is going to be that kind of faction of humans. So then there's the Russian Republic, which is the Russian humans, dwarfs of the Talos continent, and orcs of the Talos continent. Now, orcs in this world, I did say, I believe in the last episode, that they were going to be a little bit different. So I wanted to give them a little bit of a twist and make them more peaceful. So the Russian Republic is the good side, and the heroes, or at least in the campaign that I'm designing, will be the good guys. So they are the main force of the task. Like, they're the main task force of the Russian Republic. So they get out and they see all this going haywire, and one of them will end up taking lead, and there's going to be a little bit of a micromanagement to it, but it will be very interesting. And this is all run in GURPS, I believe, unless I can't get everything to work properly, or I don't want it to work the way GURPS does work. Then I might go Pathfinder realm, but we'll see what happens. So then you've got the Goblin Collective, because pretty much that's all the goblins can do, is they can kind of collect themselves, but they can't really organize. And that's really any goblins that can make it to the island, and then the goblins that are already on the island. They're located in Military Zone Delta. So it essentially was a military zoned island. So essentially, you're going to be looking at goblins on LMGs, goblins with the access to rocket launchers and military weapons of the sorts. So that's going to be interesting. That's for sure. And yeah, so if it does start in GURPS, it's going to be probably tech level 6, points of 150, negatives of 750, quirks of 5, and I wanted to do a little bit more of making them live a little easier, so I figured I would give them a starting health of 20, but that's about all I've got for that so far. As I said, it's been a little bit busy, and I've been working on a couple other things, but Augustus is on its way, and once I do get it all properly up and running, we will actually have it in a PDF, and it'll be available for download, and I'll make sure to link it on the podcast and on the YouTube channel for quite some time, so people can get an idea of what's going on. So next up, the newer schedule. So I'm actually going to be dropping this down to once every 2 weeks, just because I work 40 hours a week. I've got other things on my plate right now, and it is becoming a little bit of a thing where I don't want to put too little effort into this, but at the same time, I don't want to, I don't have the time to sit down and do this once a week and write something out. And even this one has kind of been like it's late and it's last minute, but I just kind of wanted to get this started so that in, not this coming Tuesday after this one, but the Tuesday after, we'll have another show. It'll be good. It'll be nice and formatted. On top of the new schedule, it'll be more like episodes like this, but a little bit more in it. I'll touch on Augustus. I'll touch on the new production that I was going to talk to you about. and I'll talk to you about some tabletop stuff, Pathfinders, D&D, whatever's kind of new and happening at the time. I will let you guys know what's going on, give my weigh-in thoughts on stuff, and we can go from there. All right, so from that, we're going to go with, you've already heard about the Project Augustus and that it's still underway. Next is probably going to be laying out an actual map, giving more names, working on the cities. So a lot more boring stuff on its way for updates for Augustus, but it is on its way. I'm working on a production, because before I did this, I did YouTube. I tried my hand at YouTube gaming, and it's a tough little circumstance in that one. But either way, I do want to try to do a little bit more of things there, and I also stopped doing those because I was also half-hearting it, and I was trying to keep up with a daily schedule on that one, which was even worse. So this one is a production I'm trying to work on with the gameplay, with some gameplay from Steep. Now, it's not going to be like a normal kind of gameplay. It's going to be some more cinematic shots, more music in the track, a little bit more editing on the video, and actually making it look very, very nice. I'm going to have a trailer. It should be out by next Tuesday, so if you listen to this specifically on just like podcast, if you're listening to this on Google Play, if you're listening to it on iTunes, or you're listening to it on SoundCloud, go over to YouTube, type in 8-Bit Sunrise Studios, and it should be up next Tuesday. I'd say, midday, end day, between 12 and 12 of, the day. It should be up there. Pacific Standard Time, of course. It's going to be interesting. I'm hopefully going to be doing a partnership with someone who I look forward to doing partnerships with in the future. We're working on some very interesting stuff lately, so I wanted to get a hold of him and see if we could do some stuff. So I'll touch on that more once I have confirmation. And other than that, for the Steep one, there's not a lot else I really want to get into right now, as I'm still not sure how the direction I want to see it go will end up. If you have a feeling like I'm going to get halfway through and something's going to come up and it's not going to go the way I wanted it to, but it's going to go a different direction. That's going to be nice. So lately that's been happening. So I'm kind of on the edge of everything. So it'll be interesting. Another thing I wanted to talk about is Starfinder. So Starfinder is obviously a tabletop adaptation of Pathfinders. So it's Pathfinders in space, essentially. So what I've been looking at here is I looked at it, and one, it sounds amazing. It does sound very Star Wars. Well, not really. I haven't seen a whole hell of a lot of it. I've seen bits and pieces. I do like the idea of, getting ships, getting all this other stuff, because it is like GURPS, but GURPS space is very confusing and very lots more rules on top of the normal GURPS rules, which are already a ridiculous amount. So it is kind of nice to see a more simplistic game having a option to go into a more less than simplistic area of pretty much area of everything, right? So if that's the case for that, that's going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to it. It comes out, according to them, I believe sometime in August of 2017. So that'll be fun. But yeah, it looks like it's going to be a fun time, and the tabletop is going to be some ridiculously fun times. And so yeah, so with Starfinder, it does look like it's going to be fun, and it's going to look like it's going to be, I want to say the word is, it's going to be expansive compared to the most part of it. But yeah, no. Other than that, we've covered the Steep production, we've covered Starfinder. Apologies, I'm a little bit scattered here for scrounging it up. I kind of was a little late on the draw of this, and I've been a little bit busy throughout the whole entire day. So we've covered Project Augustus, Starfinder, and Steep, so pretty much, and the new schedule, and that's essentially all that I wanted to talk about today. I did want to keep things a little bit shorter for these episodes. Probably less than 45 minutes at this point. I'm thinking close to, give or take, maybe 15 to 20 minutes. We're at the 10-minute mark, so I figured I'd talk a little bit about my last game night, which I actually was a player and not a GM. So yeah, so the last time we played, it was good. We had some knoll fights, very interesting island of kind of death and weirdness, and everything was all hush hush, and it was pretty good. So we had some very interesting times throughout the night of misadventure, and one of the first times in a while that I've seen it where we've gotten to the point of being low where we had to run away. So that's always a fun thing. Running away in combat and like having to escape because everybody's so badly wounded is something that is actually happens more than happens more, but we sit down and we fight it out. This time there were like 4 gnolls. We were not prepared. It just wasn't going to happen. So unfortunately, we had to run away. So now we await, not this week, unfortunately, not tonight, because it got canceled. But tomorrow will be when it comes back. So hopefully tomorrow we will be able to sit down and figure a way to tackle this null situation and get the thing that we were supposed to go unbury and get this magical treasure and loot to start in this brand new adventure island. Essentially, it is it's using Pathfinders, but not set in any of the Pathfinder areas. It is set on a completely new island that the DM has made, and we are one of the first ships to set foot on the thing. There's a little settlement, and that's it. So everybody's scared of the goblins, the gnolls, everything, and we're gonna work our way through it, and we're gonna explore, and we're gonna find some awesome stuff. It's based in a West Marches style game where it is more player driven than GM driven, which I actually do enjoy myself. It is a nice idea, and actually come when that one decides when we decide to hang our hats with that one, I plan to make one set in the actual Pathfinder realm in Agaria, I believe is the name of it. Let me just quickly bring it up here. Not that one. Arcadia, not Argaria, but Arcadia. Arcadia, where essentially it is the home of the Arcadians. They are a human race, pretty much Vikings is what I'm getting out of it. The island is inhabited with fire giants, shadow giants, werewolves, halflings, goblins, and stuff like that. They've got searing skinwalkers, ningos, sasquatches, and essentially, the gnomes, they've got their own little floating colony type thing, which is kind of a fascination of mine. So the whole thing is very kind of Dark Age. They don't have much of the newer technology. They've got all this kind of old day technology, and I really do like the idea of Arcadia. So when I get a chance, when we go back to me having the DM ship, I will be the one who's leading them through Arcadia. And at first I thought I'll make them all humans, which I plan to pretty much do. I'm pretty positive. Humans and maybe a couple other races, and have them kind of as Arcadians are now kind of doing like a thing where you have to do this kind of test of manhood. So they all start really young. They can't have all these varying ages. They all have to be young, and they have to go and test this thing, and they have to go out and they have to go all the way around the island of Arcadia to do this. And essentially that's I can see it being very, very good as a player-driven story, because it's them shaping their way to becoming a great warrior. And that's the whole point of it, right? It is, I want to see them shape themselves into this great and powerful warrior, and I'm hoping Arcadia can be the home for that. So that'll be good. But I'm looking forward to Starfinder. I'm hoping that this Arcadia one will push them. They'll create their characters of glory and stuff. And at the end of the end of the Arcadian during the summer, I will slide in the Starfinder swap over, and these great and mighty warriors will be seeing the stars in 1,000 years later, due to some more than likely cryostasis spell or something. So it'll be very very interesting and very intricate, and I look forward to it, because honestly I've got a couple players who are absolutely excited to play Starfinder. They are just excited for space, and it's gonna be fun. And I'll try to get some snippets and stuff from that when it does happen later in the summer, to kind of give you guys an idea of how excited they were. Anyways, I feel like this is a good time to end it. I've talked about everything. I even expanded on some stuff that I wasn't planning on tonight. So thank you guys for listening. And if you guys enjoyed this, feel free to leave a like, a comment, a rating, anything, everything, anything and everything is wonderful and amazing. You can check out the Twitter. You can check out the YouTube channel and the SoundCloud and the Spreaker page for not only just the actual audio, but Twitter actually live streams out. Well, won't live stream it, but it'll leave you the link to the live stream from Spreaker. Spreaker stores all my stuff. Facebook, I don't believe. Oh yeah, Facebook will store my stuff as well. You can go check out the Facebook page, and then YouTube will also store it. And also, if you check up on Facebook or on YouTube, you will get to see the Steep production when it is up and running. So as I said, next Tuesday should have the new Steep production trailer. Thank you guys for listening, and have a wonderful day.